Noon Farm Show live today for National FFA Week, and we welcome in the students from the Heyworth FFA Chapter. Today we've got Jeffrey Clawwitter, Jolie Maharis, and Emma Quinton with us. And guys, first of all, thanks so much for taking time out with us. I'll start with you, Emma. Tell us a little bit about FFA Week at Heyworth. I know we're not in school today, but what's Heyworth got going on for FFA Week?
Of fun activities planned, starting with some morning trivia and dress-up days. Our dress-up days this week are Tuesday is Stationed by the Flag, so students are to wear patriotic attire. Wednesday is Country versus Country Club, and Thursday is Beneath the Rising Sun, so students can wear all their tropical gear. And Friday is Blue and Gold Day, or unofficial dress. We also have FFA bingo, scavenger hunts, lots of prizes, and an assembly on Friday with a guest speaker being the Illinois FFA Vice President, Brody Will.
Yeah. Do you find your peers really get into FFA Week with you?
I feel like we have a strong group of students. I wish it was more around the school. I wish more people participated, but it's really hard to get the non-FFA kids to participate in FFA Week activities.
And why is that? Is it just because they're kind of not in that circle, or what do you find that to be the case?
I feel maybe they just don't. They feel maybe it's more of an FFA just activity. But we try really hard to get all students to participate in our fun activities.
Sure. You want to chime in there?
No.
Okay. I'll tell you what, Jeffrey, I'll have you tell us about FFA this year. Like, what's the chapter membership like? How are things going this year so far?
There's a lot more people this year, I can tell you that. And last year it wasn't like a lot. I would say more freshmen that came up, and they have been doing a lot with us too.
Yeah. Now in Heyworth, do you guys have a junior high FFA chapter?
No. I don't think so, no.
We have in 8th grade, all 8th graders take an ag class for a trimester, so they can participate in activities here and there, but...
Okay. Cool. Very good. Well, Jolie, I'll have you tell us a little bit about what your favorite part of FFA Week is and why this is such an exciting time for the chapter.
Yeah, so my favorite part is probably all the different bingo and scavenger hunts we do.
Yeah, tell us about some of those things. What do those events entail?
Yeah, so our scavenger hunt this year, we're hiding little rubber ducks around our school for people to find, and then they can go out to our ag shop and get a prize from. And then we have FFA bingo, which we will probably do throughout the day and just call it to get prizes, which are like gift cards for local places around.
How do you extend bingo throughout the day? How does that work?
So we'll just do it at a random time during the day, mostly like the morning and probably at the end of the day when everybody's just like there and just getting in the mindset of going to school or leaving school and just getting there. Yeah,
sure. So talk a little bit with me, Jolie, about planning for FFA Week. When does FFA Week plan start? How do you consolidate all your ideas? What does that look like?
We started planning a couple weeks before FFA Week. We met with our officer team, and we brainstormed, came up with a couple ideas, and then we put together some graphics to put around the school to let other members know about what we were going to be doing.
Sure. Jeffrey, what's your favorite part of FFA Week?
Probably the country club versus country.
Okay.
Because, country club and country, they two different things.
Yeah, what is country club versus country? What's this all about?
I would say, it's just dressing up as country people or, dressing up as, a nicer clothes variant.
Yeah, what are you going to dress up as?
Like country.
Country? Yeah, all right, sounds good, very good. So, FFA Week, this is a big week, of course, for FFA chapters all across the country. Why is this such an important week for you, Jolie? What makes this week so special? I'm sorry, Emma, what makes this week so special for you?
I just really FFA has impacted my life in a myriad of ways, and I think that it gets other students involved and they can see kind of what we do in FFA.
Yeah, for sure. Jolie, how did you get involved in FFA? Talk about your journey through this program.
Yeah, so I started my freshman year because we didn't have an 8th grade class anymore. And our advisor, Miss Kara Barling, pushed me and many other of the freshmen just to go to stuff and try it to see if we liked it. And from there on, I've always gone to everything, whether I liked it or not, just to learn more about it and just to meet new people and make new friends throughout this culture that's here.
Yeah, are you an officer?
I am the president.
You're the president. Gotcha. So when you started in FFA, did you ever see yourself becoming the president of your chapter?
I think I did a little bit, but not as soon as I did, just because of how much involvement there was in the upperclassmen before us.
Yeah, sure. What has been the most beneficial part of being in FFA for you?
I would say just making the different connections throughout the events and things, because you can be with one person and they know somebody else that you know, and just making those connections to help you further on in life.
Sure. Jeffrey, are you an officer?
Yeah, I'm a treasurer.
You're the treasurer. So
Yeah.
from your perspective, what got you into FFA, and how has the program benefited you that you've seen?
Honestly, it was more my parents and my sister, and just wanting to do stuff while being bored or something like that. And it's honestly, it helps you in this future to talk to people and being able to do stuff like this.
Yeah, for sure. And Emma, how about you? What have you taken away from FFA over the years?
I've really built a lot of leadership skills in public speaking for sure. I was a lot less confident as a freshman, and growing in confidence in my leadership skills and networking, meeting a lot of new people.
For sure. Are you an officer?
Yes, I'm our chapter vice president.
Very good. Well, do you guys have a social media presence? Are you on the web at all? How do folks follow along with what you're doing this week?
So we have a Facebook account, which is Heyworth FFA Chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have an Instagram account, which is Heyworth_FFA_chapter.
Very good. Well, guys, let's take a break. We'll come back and maybe talk about some of the other things the chapter's been up to besides FFA Week and where all you've been. Again, the students from the Heyworth FFA Chapter in studio with us. The president is Jolie Maharis. Emma Quinton is the vice president, and the treasurer is Jeffrey Clawitter. And we'll talk more with them coming up on the Farm Show from IllinoisFarmRadio.com. From IllinoisFarmRadio.com, it is the Noon Farm Show, an extended version of this week's show, thanks to it being FFA Week. I'm your host in studio today, Seth Lawrence, with the members of the Heyworth FFA Chapter. And again, our guests are President Jolie Maharis, Vice President Emma Quinton, and Treasurer Jeffrey Clawitter. And Emma, you were telling me that you have recently done some competitions. Was it horse judging competition?
Correct.
Yeah, tell us about that.
We just took a team of 4 members up to Galva for state horse judging, where we judged about 8 classes of horses on just different things, from different riding classes to their conformation.
Okay, so how do you prepare for the judging competitions? Because I know there's so many of those. How do you prepare for those?
For horse judging in particular, there's like slides where you could practice looking at practice classes, just practicing your judging skills and then looking at reasons why judges place the classes that way. For other competitions, we prepare by flashcards, and Miss Barling prepares us through just different instructions.
Okay, very good. Now, I know, Emma, Jolie, you were saying that a lot of your members are busy right now. What are they doing?
So they are doing different competitions,
Mm-hmm.
like we have meat judging coming up,
Mm-hmm.
Parley Pro,
What is Parley Pro?
Parley Pro is parliamentary procedure, where we learn how to run a meeting correctly, and so we know what to do in the future if we ever are in a meeting.
Yeah, and doing some record keeping this time of year, correct?
Yes, we have a bunch of record keeping going on for different things like chapter or state degrees.
So let's start with chapter degrees. How do you get your chapter degree?
Chapter degrees are for sophomores. Miss Barling has a checklist that she goes through. Like, are they being active? Did they keep up with the record books? And then they receive their chapter degree at our chapter banquet.
So, Jeffrey, you being a sophomore, this is probably on your plate right now.
Yeah, it is.
So tell me a little bit about preparing for this. What do you have to do?
I'm just going to random stuff and getting more points and being active during the during like school.
Okay. Yeah. And you probably have to keep track of what you're doing and all of that. When it's all said and done, is it just kind of a matter of organizing it and putting it together? What's that process look like?
It's just organizing and paying attention to what you do and how many points you have overall.
I see. Very good. And then, okay, let's get into state degrees because that's a pretty big deal. Tell us a little bit about that, Jolie.
So for state degrees, you have to have your SAE books ready. Make sure all the financials are good in it.
What is SAE?
SAE is Supervised Agricultural Experiences.
Okay.
And so
is that like the trips you take, the competitions you do? What goes into those?
That is just something you do either on your own or supervised by somebody. So it's like taking care, if you have horses or cattle, just taking care of them, and then writing down in this software online what you did and how much time it took you, and then for financial, what you spent your money on, like feed or something like that.
Sounds like owning your own business and just kind of keeping track of it.
Like that,
yeah, wow, that's amazing. So when you get to the point where you're ready to try for your state degree, Emma, what goes into that? Like, what is that process like?
It was a lot of reviewing our entries in the software, going through the past 3 years and making sure everything looks clean, making sure that everything's accurate. And then you had an interview process where you were asked FFA questions, so you had to be knowledgeable about FFA as well as different like financial questions, like you were expected to know net worth and stuff like that.
Gotcha. And does this happen at state convention then?
So we had interviews a week and a half ago or so, and then you get nominated for your state degree, and then you receive it at state convention.
Okay. And do a lot of kids get their state degrees then?
It's a lot of juniors and seniors go out for their state degrees.
I see. And Jeffrey, you were saying you can apply for this now,
I can
correct?
apply for it now, yeah.
That's awesome. So you're going to try for it?
Yeah, probably next year.
That's great. Very good. Well, guys, I look at the clock. I've got a couple of minutes yet still with you. We mentioned competitions and all those things. We did talk about state convention. Where is state convention? What is state convention, Emma? How about that?
So the state convention is held in Springfield at the Bank of Springfield Center. We go through a couple sessions where the state officers lead us through a lot of proficiency awards and different awards from throughout the year. So a lot of members get recognized at state convention, and then chapters do a bunch of fun activities together down at state convention.
Like what? What's your favorite?
We go out to eat and stuff, but then usually we'll do a fun activity like 2 years ago we went to the zoo. I can't quite remember what we did last year, but we do just fun activities like that where we go out and...
How many kids are at state convention?
We usually take about 12.
Yeah. I mean,
But
how many kids
total-
are there? Yeah.
Total, there's probably about like 5,000.
Wow.
That's a
In
lot
that
of kids.
Bank of Springfield Center.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. But it's a lot of fun, though. Like, you probably see and meet a lot of people through the course of the year that you just get together with there. Then, so that's great. Well, real quickly, I want to ask each of you, Jeffrey, why should a student in Heyworth consider FFA?
It's fun, and you get to meet a lot of new people.
Sure.
And you can, like, be closer with your teachers, and it just helps overall.
Emma, how about you?
It really prepares you for the future, leadership-wise, career-wise. There's a lot of opportunities to grow.
Fantastic. And Jolie, how about you?
I would say it just helps you make connections and networking with so many different people you might meet in the future during your career, and just getting that understanding of what you're doing and why you're doing it.
And again, how do folks follow the Heyworth FFA Chapter, Jolie?
You can follow us on Facebook at Heyworth FFA Chapter or on Instagram at Heyworth_FFA Chapter.
Fantastic. Guys, enjoy FFA week when you get to school tomorrow. Thanks for doing this with us.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Again, students from the Heyworth FFA Chapter with us here on the Noon Farm Show from IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Again, expanded coverage comes your way next.